All right, I'm working on my 2016 Kia Forte 5 front driver's door panel. And what I'm going to cover is, what I'm trying to do is get into the lock actuator, because it's not locking and unlocking the car with the key, with the remote, rather on a regular basis. It will and it won't. And I've checked the cables, move free by hand. Also, the key does not turn anymore in the actuator. So I'm getting the feeling that the cylinder and or the actuator are not in great shape. This is particularly important if you're here in West Michigan, as right now the Kia and Hyundai vehicles with standard key ignitions, as mine is, standard key ignitions. These right now are the #1 stolen vehicle on this side of the state. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but right now, if you have a Kia or Hyundai with this key, or this style, standard, not a push button start, a standard key ignition, this is the most stolen vehicle in West Michigan. So what I'm doing is, at this point, I have to get in. Like I said, I'm trying to get into this window, or this power lock actuator. I have the door card off, door panel, which is not an entirely difficult process. I didn't start my video there, but what you're gonna have, there's a little plastic panel or piece here, cover. It pops out with a flathead screwdriver most easily by finding it. There's a little pop underneath there when it's on. There's another small cover here, and you can see there's a screw hole under each one of those. Phillips head screws, take those out, and then the door panel again, pop it out from the bottom side. It'll hang along the window trim here. You gently pull off the lock and handle assembly, and on these cars, I kind of like it. Instead of having some really annoying clips that will break, you click here, and this just rotates up and out off the door panel. After that, you have a harness for the windows and a harness for the power mirrors. Right now, this is for my speaker. I'm already starting to get that. This one's for the power mirror itself. I have the 2 screws loosened here and here to take the window off the regulator, but at the moment the window is not coming off the regulator. So I'm going to pull the speaker out and see if there's something in behind here that I can't see yet. With the speaker out, you can see there is no real access to any additional mechanisms that weren't accessible by pulling off these 2 covers. I was able to lift here on the glass, and the window was not moving up and down. On a lot of vehicles that I'm used to, this is a clamp device, and loosening the screw is enough to open it so the glass can slide up and down. On this vehicle, it is not. The screw actually goes through some sort of attachment on the glass itself. So both of these screws have to come out all the way as opposed to being loosened. At this point, what I'm going to do is hook the power window switch back up. I will key the vehicle on and roll the glass all the way up, at which point I will take some pretty standard painter's tape to tape the window up, the glass up, so that I can lower the mechanism back down and get this door, start to move this door panel, or interior door panel, off of the door. I'm going to be looking at these main looms. This is actually not a harness for the main loom, despite what it looks like. It's just a dummy cover. This must be some sort of feature not present on my car. I do like that they did this. I wish they had done it with more things. This harness can stay on the inner panel, whereas the wire here for the mirror can be harnessed loose. This is going to be another point of problem. I may have to pull this entire harness loose so that I can get the inner door panel free. And I'm hoping here I can just pop this grommet out and be able to work it around the door panel. The screws for the window regulator here and here are both 10mm. The screws that held the speaker in are 8mm. And these ones around the interior of the door panel are also 10mm. Okay, at this point, I have the window taped up. Sometimes two pieces is all you really need. I haven't gotten into the door actuator on this car before, so I don't know that I might be here a little bit. So I want to be better safe than sorry. You can also see that with the glass up, those bolts here and here are no longer accessible. So you need to loosen those before you put the glass all the way up. I have the door panel hanging here because I have to hook the switch back up for the window, for the regulator, so that I can gently lower this back down. And you can see it there, it comes on by. And I'm just gonna put it all the way down in a hope that it's out of my way when I try to pull off this interior piece. I meant to show this earlier, and maybe I'll edit it in so that it is earlier. This upper is the actual lock cable. This is the latch for the door to open and close the door. But this is the cable that actuates the lock cylinder. And as I mentioned, it moves free. You can see it with my finger there. There's no resistance at all. It is moving very, very free. It does not move freely with the lock, with the key. If I use my remote here, let's see, that's unlocked. And what if I just take it, this is harder to do with one hand than you think. If I just push it, no, maybe not. In the past, I was able to just give it a little nudge, and it was able to pull through. And in this case, it's not doing that. Maybe it'll work the other way. See, this is what I'm talking about. And occasionally it will work, which is how I know the problem is in the door. And even at this point, the fact that it's not working at all, there, certainly indicates that there's some sort of a problem. Unlocking is something it almost never did. It would occasionally lock for me. Although again, at the moment it isn't. Yeah. So there's something going on with that lock cylinder. So I'm going to try and get in there and see what I can find. So that's how I verified that at least the cable, the mechanical mechanism is okay. And really, I was able to do this with the latch on the door panel itself quite easily. So I'm not concerned with the cable, that part of the mechanical system. There's something going on in here, which is why I'm bothering to take this whole door panel apart. Okay, I've had to get out my trouble light. I was not able to get the harness is not playing nice with others. So what I've done is I've popped this grommet here, just gently pushed it back through the door. There was a little clip here that I've pushed back through, and that's been enough to let me get this inner door panel out of the way so that I can see the interior of this mechanism. Now, when I try to lock the door, it's already in the lock position, so it really shouldn't do anything. But for whatever reason, it's not happy about it. And it still won't actually unlock the door, but if I do that by hand, everything's okay. I hit the lock button, again, it's not working yet. So if I push it manually, and now it won't reproduce the sound. Isn't that how it goes? Put it about halfway. There. So it's almost like it's limiting out. Like something's come out of position and it's trying to pull farther than it should. So I'm going to get in here a little further and see what I can determine. Hopefully something's just jammed and I'll be able to nudge it back into place. If not, it looks like I'm going to be looking for a power lock actuator. So let's see what I can find. All right, I got the key to turn the lock with a little aid of some penetrating oil. Everybody's got their favorite variety. I won't mention mine just because I don't want to put any brands in this video. And with that done, I'm at least able to finally lock and unlock the car with the key. As you can hear, when I lock it, that actuator is still really annoyed. So I still need to get in there, but at least now I can get into my own car from the driver's door with the key. Still can't use the remote because the actuator itself isn't playing nice with others. So I'm still going to get into this a little further and see what I can find. But at least now I have the mechanical lock freed up enough that I can get in my own car. Okay, at this point what I've done is I've removed the electrical harness from the window lock or the door lock actuator, which has actually allowed me to swing the interior door card panel most of the way out of the way. They did not harness this side of the main harness here for the door panel. The only harness on the back is for that door lock actuator. So once you push this mechanism through the grommet here and unhook the window lock actuator, the door panel will fall, interior door panel will fall down out of the way. It will not come off, but at least it gets down out of the way. So I have it unhooked. It allows me to get in here a little clearer. What I've been able to determine now is mechanically, it is just quite fine. Everything moves as it should. Let's see if I can get my hand in here. The part that actuates with the key is this little guy right up here. You can see that white dowel or clamp there inside this piece of plastic here. That's what actually rotates with the key. That is moving just fine. This arm here is the exterior door handle, the door pull. And if you look at these two, these are what come forward to the interior door handle, interior door lock. They do not appear to be serviceable. They appear to be a part of the assembly at whole. Trying to focus on this isn't real easy, but hopefully you get the point. That is not a separate unit. It looks like the actuator itself is going to be one piece, which I have not yet bought, much less sourced. And so this is where I'm going to stop for now. It should give me some time to edit these pieces together while I try to find that part.